Today we're making our way to the Lone Star State for a little G.I. Joe. Hey everyone, I'm Jeff. Welcome to another episode of Reacting to G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero. We're here, you and me. We're here. We made it. We made it to another Western episode of G.I. Joe, and I could not be happier. I've been doing a lengthy rewatch of G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, and I'm loving it. As the kids at McDonald's say, I'm loving it. I hope you're enjoying it too. This is kind of a slow burn reaction series, and I know for some people it may not be going fast enough, but I hope and appreciate your patience. And I'll thank you so much for joining me here. Today, I think we've got a good one. It's episode 25 of season 1. We're really into the thick of season 1 now. This is called Where the Reptiles Roam, and it is a trip out west. And I think this is like Wild Bill, and I'm always like, not always, but like I have a minor gripe that sometimes when we go into these like hyper specific environments, they don't use the like logical environmental specialist, like the characters that make the most sense here. But I do think that in this episode they do. So what I'm hoping for, like, I understand that Dusty is technically not a cowboy. I get it. He's just a desert guy. Wild Bill is a cowboy. So I'm pretty sure he is in this episode. Who else is a cowboy? Well, as we recently learned, a new appreciation for our man Thunder. Thunder is a cowboy, so hopefully Thunder will show up here. I don't know who else to expect. I mean, we'll see if Thunder shows up. I don't know. But we had a good time. The last sort of Western themed episode, which was the Great Train Robbery or whatever it was called, something like that. And I am looking forward to this one. It's called Where the Reptiles Roam, which is of course like a play on the like Where the Buffaloes Roam from the lonesome cowboy tune, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play. You know what's funny? As a kid, I never really understood what the heck an antelope was. I know I mean, I get it. It's just a deer, but it took actually going out to see them for myself before I realized they're not just like regular like deer. Like I live in like Canada. I'm used to like white-tailed deer out in the woods. It's not the same. These are like little hoppy, little jumpy deer. If you've ever seen an antelope moving around, they are crazy. they're kind of nuts. Anyway, we will see what we get out of this episode. I'm hoping for some good things though. Okay, enough yammering on. If you guys want to jump right ahead to the episode reaction, please look down below. There's always chapter times in my reaction, so just jump ahead. That's no problem. I want to just talk a bit more about the backstory here. So I'm just going to be yapping a bit more. But if you want to go ahead, go ahead. If you conversely would like to watch any of these G.I. Joe Real American Hero episodes, like just for your edification, these episodes are all available for free as of like this recording over on the Hasbro official YouTube page. So go and watch ahead if you want to get caught up before you do a watch along with me, perhaps, or I don't know, or if you decide my yapping in your ear is too much, it's fine. I'm not going to take it personally. You can go and watch these episodes for yourself. That's fine. On the other side of that, if you'd like to watch this episode with even more of this episode with me, not just a cut down here on YouTube, we always have the uncut full episode with reaction and additional commentary over on the Patreon. And speaking of the Patreon, we're having a ton of fun over there. The community has been growing, and I really want to send a huge shout out to our Xennial at Heart level patrons who always have access to the uncut cartoons that we do reactions to, monthly movies, bonus videos, all, Patreon stuff. Like good, I try to make a good quality Patreon stuff. So big shout outs to our patrons, our Xennials at heart, Marissa, Alec, Callum, Kanan, Corey, Nejaj, and Tag Pro. Thank you all for being the true heroes that you are. Okay, I'm going to just yap a little bit more because I want to talk a bit about the people behind this episode before we jump in. As you guys know, I'm a real story wonk. I love like sort of following, the construction of how these episodes are made. I actually recently discovered, and this is just a thing that's been sitting online. I think it was over at Joepedia, or maybe it was at yojo.com, a copy of the writer's guide. So I'm really excited to dive into that. We'll probably do a bonus video on that actually. That might be a Patreon video. I don't know if it's maybe a little dry for YouTube, but if you're interested, come over to the Patreon and check it out. That said, there's always interesting details that I'm newly discovering. Like every time I think I know what's going on with G.I. Joe, you realize the depth of this show, and that's one of the things that I love about it. So this is actually another new writing. This is a writing team, actually, a new writer to the show. This is Jerry Conway and his wife Carla Conway. So Jerry is a pretty famous comic book guy. Like we've had comic book people writing this show before, and like I said, I think that what's his name, Steve Gerber. Like I think he brought in a lot of guys from that world and transitioned them over from comics to cartoons, and I think that was just sort of that was a thing that was done, especially in the early 80s when this sort of explosion of cartoons and toys and comic and everything was sort of this omni-channel sort of tie-in, sort of the idea of that started. But Jerry Conway is like he's a guy. He's he's the creator of the Punisher. Like him and John Romita, the senior that is, created the Punisher. So that's probably his biggest claim to fame, but he has been an active comic book writer since the 70s. And his first wife was Carla, and he worked with her on a number, and she's a comic book writer in her own vein and highly respected. But he worked with her on a number of television shows, I think as he was starting out in TV. But if you go to his IMDb, his credits are like crazy, and not just like a couple of cartoons here and there, but like, he's done films. He worked with Roy Thomas on a couple of scripts. They did the film. They wrote the film Fire and Ice for Ralph Bakshi, based on the Bakshi sort of ideas. It was a Bakshi film, and they wrote Conan the Destroyer. And over on IMDb, it's a little convoluted because he's helped co-create or created so many characters for both DC and Marvel that I think that anything that's ever produced for Punisher, he's going to get some kind of a writing credit on because he's like one of the creators of the character. So, but aside from that, I know that he actively has worked on a lot of high profile properties, everything from, feature films to the latest episodes of, Law and Order. And he has credits going all the way up until 2024. So, I mean, he's still active. I don't know if he's quite as active as he was. But he's a guy. He's being inducted into the Eisner Awards Hall of Fame this summer. So, he's like a guy. Let me hold on a second. I don't want to go overboard on this guy, but let me tell you here real quick. Okay, when he worked at Marvel, he created the Punisher. He created Peter Parker's clone Ben Reilly. He created the supervillain the Jackal. He created the first Miss Marvel. He also wrote The Death of Gwen Stacy, and he created Firestorm, which is, I don't know if that's the DC version Firestorm. There's a Firestorm in Marvel too, right? I'm pretty sure. Power Girl. Jason Todd. Did he create Jason Todd and Killer Croc? He also had a lengthy run writing the Justice League. So that's some pretty serious comic book credentials. And this is exciting to have him and his wife here on board for it's like 5 or 6 episodes I think they do over the course of the Sunbow and the Deke series. I think that that's a good pedigree, and I just sort of wanted to flag it as of interest. And I'm really hoping that it speaks to someone who sort of understands story structure. We're hoping for good things here. I think there's no reason not to assume we're not gonna get something good. I love an episode that isn't afraid to lean into its theming as well. So if we're gonna have a Western themed episode, let's have a Western themed episode. It doesn't have to be an old cowboys and Indians kind of thing, but it should be fit into the theme. And I'm hoping for like an A to B to C sort of progression that all sort of fits together. Okay. With that said, I think it's time. Let's jump into this latest episode of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Season 1, Episode 25, Where the Reptiles Roam. All right, you buckaroos, I hope you're ready to bonsai, because it's time for another Western episode of G.I. Joe. That's right. It's Where the Buffaloes... No, it's not Where the Buffaloes. It's Where the Reptiles Roam. Season 1, Episode 25 of A Real American Hero. And if you jumped right here, that's no worries. All you missed was me yapping away about how great this writer is, in theory. He's like a guy. Anyway, let's jump in to this episode. Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra the enemy, fighting to save the day. He never gives up. He's always there, fighting for freedom.
I hope someone has to fight a bull.
G.I. Joe,
Or a ride a bucking bronco.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special.
And they should all get cowboy hats.
To defend human freedom against
I want
Cobra,
Snake Eyes in a cowboy
ruthless
hat.
terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
never gives up. He'll
We'll
stay
see.
till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe.
Yo, Joe. Jerry and Carla Conway. Look at that. Is this a prison in a cornfield? That could happen. Are they breaking into a prison? They are. Breaker. Is he the kind of guy you send on a job like this?
Cobra's information center. Got the data.
It's a Cobra data center?
Come on.
I mean, why don't they just send, like, the full force military in here?
Cobra's main computer. All their recent transactions with dummy companies are stored here.
Oh, cool.
And in just about 2 seconds, it'll all be ours. Bazooka, can't you be quiet? Feet dangled. Gotcha.
Correction. We've got
Optimus
you.
Prime? Sorry. Was that Peter Cullen? I was like, oh my god, Optimus is standing right behind them. Sorry, I'm sure he was here doing additional voices or something like that. It could be someone else, but it sounded like him. Okay. We got a Bazooka Alpine episode. That's good. We've obviously got Snake Eyes and Timber. Never a problem. Breaker, it makes sense they brought him now because they want to get this. And I was thinking like, oh, you know where Cobra has like a base, like a data center. Like, why wouldn't you just storm it? You know, bring the full force of an entire G.I. Joe like attack squad. But you want to sneak in, you want to get the information. You don't necessarily want them to know that you've broken in. Yeah. That makes sense, actually. It does make sense. Because if your attack come in full attack, and if you're going to take over the base, like they would destroy the information. Okay. So now Breaker has like a disc with all of the recent companies that Cobra's been doing dealings with. I would love to explore that further. I doubt we're going to too much, but we'll see what we get here.
Great, that was the only door shell frame.
Go back out the window, guys. Come on. Sorry, what?
Door.
Oh.
Cover us!
Ground forces, air support, move!
Don't worry, they brought backup.
Alpine! Look! Cavalry!
Yahoo! Get along, little doggies!
Let's see what you got, Baker. Standard Cobra protection scheme. Shouldn't be
Who's
too
this
tough
hacker?
to crack.
Looks like a real estate transaction.
Real estate?
Real estate's right, Alpine. According to this, well, Cobra bought a dude ranch in Texas.
Why a dude ranch?
I'd love to know. Why don't you go undercover with Bazooka, Alpine, and Wild Bill?
Yahoo! West Texas, home sweet home. Yahoo!
Okay, so sorry, who do we got here? We've got Lady J, Alpine, Wild Bill, and Bazooka?
Can't you take a little wind in your hair?
All got cowboy hats.
Not oil wells, Bazooka. Microwave antennas. Part of a solar energy farm.
Huh. That's not
They
what solar
receive
panels look like.
microwave energy beamed from an orbiting satellite. Then they relay it via those power lines to electric plants.
Solar power beams coming down here?
I love how I love how like they don't need to actually understand how any kind of like technology really works. They just have to have a general sort of like science fiction idea that would like make sense to a kid. Like as a kid, I would not have batted an eye at like, oh yeah, sure, that's probably how solar power works. but no, I mean, no, those that does not make sense. That does not really make sense at all. That's okay. That's okay. I'm loving the setup here. I love the atmosphere, the motif of everyone undercover as cowboys and cowgirls. Interesting when they add sort of like little tidbits that like enhance the sort of world building.
Isn't that dangerous, Lady J?
Not if the beams are controlled by that monitoring station.
If not,
They could fry a city.
Well, oh, I wonder what Cobra's out here to do then. The Loco Toro Dude Ranch. Oh my god.
Howdy, y'all. Well, welcome to Local Toro. You must be the Austins. I'm Ma Joe. This here's Pa. And over yonder is our little daughter, Mary Belle.
name's Bill Austin. This here's my sister Jane. My brothers Big Bob and Little Bob. Howdy. Howdy.
Why don't you and I take a look-see around the ranch, private like?
Well, I'd like that just fine, Miss Jode.
Oh, please, call me Mary Belle, Mr. Bill. Miss Jode sounds so formal.
Okay.
Supper's at 6 sharp. You have yourselves a good time here.
So it's a tourist style dude ranch, right? So they're here for like a dude ranch experience, but they're not like, it's not like a City Slickers scenario, right? They're really playing into it, which is kind of interesting. Like they probably could have gotten away with being like with playing up the sort of a City Slickers angle, like, oh, we don't know what we're doing here. Belle, Joanne, whatever her name is, the girl, she's really giving Daisy Duke, right? Like, come on. It's already like feeling like super pulpy.
Heard the lady. Look around. I'll check in with Flint. Lady Jade of Flint. We're at the ranch. It looks like Cobra bought it as an R&R center for the troops. But there may be more to this than meets the eye.
It's funny she said that, and I think Peter Cullen was in the episode. Cobra himself is watching me.
Under constant surveillance, understand?
Why watch her when we can waste her?
We must not cause any suspicion for 18
Oh, they're
hours.
all in disguise.
Then I will control the solar power satellite.
Howdy, y'all. Ma Joe told me to make sure you folks have a real full day.
You'll wait right here while me and the boys saddle up some horses.
What happens now?
Now you get run down by a bull.
Holy cow!
Dang.
Alpine!
Oh, so brave. Is that a thing? Can you do that? That was a move and a half. Get out of here, Ferdinand.
You okay?
Dang.
Mean meat. Why don't you take him for a little ride, miss? Let me give you a leg up.
Oh, he's putting whatever it's called, the thistle under the saddle. Thankfully, she's an experienced cowgirl.
You hurt?
Oh, just my pride. Easy, boy. Easy. A burr. No wonder Mudpatch tossed me. Call it a wild guess, but I'd say we weren't wanted here.
Ah, Texas air. Nothing like it in all the 50 states. Maribel, you see that?
Ain't.
That's a stampede.
Dang.
It's headed right for the solar farm control blockhouse.
Look at him, he's a real cowboy. I do think it's possible to redirect a stampede, but would those cows have just run straight into the solar dishes, whatever, the solar panels? I don't know. I mean, cows aren't the smartest, but still.
Aw, shoot, ma'am. Wasn't much.
Oh my, Wild Bill.
All right, folks. Choose your partners and don't be shy, and form your squares and blink your eye. Onto your
Little square
partners,
dancing?
Swing 'em around, swing 'em back, and don't sit down.
This is definitely not for me.
It's not for them either.
Want to find out why?
Sure, anything to get away from Wild Bill's warbling.
Honor your partner, honor your gal. Do-si-do with the
They're really Cobra? The old folks, the sweet old folks are Cobra?
Follow the ranch hands. I'll look in on the Jodes.
But the Dreadnoks, when did you get here?
Trouble.
Oh, so are they captured? Gotta investigate.
Where's the light coming from?
Those aren't sweet old folks. They're Cobra agents. Cobra Commander and Destro are here. Oh, wait a second. That's the girl from the beginning. She was on Cobra's side the whole... Wait, am I crazy? Oh, maybe that's not the girl from the beginning. Maybe that's their daughter. Mary Jo? I don't know. Okay, we'll just have to watch. But, interesting. It's so interesting. Oh.
With the control
Maybe it's nothing.
chip,
Maybe I'm
Cobra's
overanalyzing.
destructive power is equal to that of the sun.
Hard to believe that
something so small could command a satellite orbiting hundreds of miles above us. How much do you think they will pay?
Fire insurance is expensive, Destro. I would say billions. Billions! You're not one of my people. Destro, quickly! An intruder!
I mean,
good. There's just one Joe left.
She was doing a terrible
Ain't
job
rightly
sneaking
remember
in.
when I've had a nicer time, Mary Belle.
Look at the stars. They're beautiful.
West Texas sky.
So,
yep, that's a
if
mighty
Mary
pretty
Belle
sight.
is, oh my
Reminds me
God,
of a
Mary Belle is really the Baroness. Honestly, that's a total shock to me. I don't know why. I was like, oh, but her parents are Cobra agents. Maybe she doesn't know. How could I have been so foolish? Oh, you got me, Baroness. You got me. I don't know how I
Back
didn't
home,
realize
I never
that.
had me a pretty lady like you, Mary Belle. Mary Belle?
Oh, man, Wild Bill, you're in for it
G.I.
now.
Joe will return after these messages.
Okay. How was
Now,
I
back to
surprised by
G.I. Joe.
that?
Maribel, why don't you... Baroness!
At your service. Y'all.
These red sparrows.
Well,
You can't stop them.
That's very persuasive.
Baroness, Cobra Commander sent me to see if you need any help.
That's mighty kind of you, son.
Oh!
Mighty kind.
But we didn't actually see him take out the
NASA's
Baroness,
been
though.
getting some weird telemetry off solar power satellite number 1. They think it's tied in with that West Texas dude ranch Lady J's investigating.
Any word from Lady J, Breaker?
I tried raising her, but the frequency is being jammed by... Now what?
Interesting. Oh, I like this expansion of the cast in this
hours
episode
to pay
here.
Cobra an insurance premium of $1 billion in gold bullion, or a city will be burned. For every hour that the premium payment is delayed, an additional city will be eliminated. And if you doubt Cobra has the power to carry out this threat...
That's the Golden Gate Bridge.
It is the Golden Gate Bridge. They're gonna destroy the Golden Gate Bridge? Oh, that's bad.
Oh. 12 hours!
Dang! They destroyed a world landmark?
Let's check
That's
out
badass, Cobra Commander. You finally did something.
Perimeter defense sensors indicate G.I. Joe troops moving in
I
from
like
the
it when the
northeast.
stakes are raised, you know?
Let them come, Destro. Nothing can touch us here.
Yes, I have a
We have
joystick.
the weapon of the century. And NASA developed it for us at their cost.
Oh, he's just gonna slice through them. Nice.
Yes,
Oh, man.
just a little closer.
How are the Joes gonna get out of this one? Oh, you should have waited till you were actually shooting them, not like the ground in front of them.
What the?
Okay, yeah, there we go.
How
Just
am I gonna fix
slap.
that?
Flint, this is Ace. We're making our run.
Cobra's got some kind of laser defensive screen. You can't...
You can't? He said right before he blew
run
up.
into a problem.
Yeah, man.
Literally.
Scarlet to air group. Peel off. Regroup.
Oh, man. The Joes are getting destroyed. What is this?
Recondo, how'd you get across?
That laser beam's great for big targets, Flint, but when it comes to something smaller...
Yeah, it's like using an elephant gun to swat flies.
Great. So how do we get smaller?
We go in on foot.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Oh, the tactics. This is big brain attack moves. Come on, even the green shirts are getting in on it.
I can't pinpoint small targets.
Counterattack!
Why don't you just send your troops outside, man? You have literally an army. All right, it's okay. how did... Oh, wait, no, Wild Bill did get away. Right. So, yeah, we don't know where he went. He went to go get these cows for a stampede.
Stampede!
Oh, you guys are toast.
Stop them! No, there's two!
Oh, you guys are done for. Taken out by the herd.
Wild Bill!
I mean, whose cows are those? I guess they bought the Dude Ranch, so maybe the Cobra's cows.
Get out of my way!
Pardon me, partners. There's a lady I want to talk with.
No, she's gonna have an escape capsule or something in the outhouse, right?
Come on out or I'm coming in.
Like a rocket? Yeah, this explodes. Oh, it's a trouble bubble, okay.
Let's get him.
I told you there were holes in this plan to begin with.
Foiled by a cattle stampede! A cattle stampede! I can't believe it! But I'll be back!
What kept you?
Nice.
Oh, just a little cattle stampede.
And that's no bull.
This is terrible dad joke. Wow, Bill.
Ah, pretty night. Almost as pretty as a West Texas gal. Oh, heck, Timber. I should have known she weren't no real Texas peach. She was just too sweet. Anyone from Texas knows we grow our peaches sassy.
Oh, man. Wow. Wow.
G.I. Joe will return.
What
after
a
these
what a
messages.
fun episode that was. Boy, you know, I like just fun all around. Okay, let's watch. You know, we'll wait to the end of the credits, then we'll talk about this. Just give us a minute here. Okay, so another one in the books, and what a fun one that was. For me, I think that was exactly the kind of level of just a great balance of fun and funny, and didn't take itself too seriously, but also generally speaking had a coherent plot line. There were a couple of vignettes that didn't necessarily advance the plot, but were so fun that I couldn't help but kind of have this big smile on my face while I was watching that episode. The bull attacking Alpine and Bazooka, the Lady J with the horse, the mud flap, and all that stuff was just great little beats. And the cartoonishness, and I mentioned this as we were watching, the cartoonishness of the plot line not really making sense because, literally Destro called it out at the end. I knew there were holes in this plan. Yes. Yes. But the cartoonishness of the sort of general setup, it allowed for some nice interplay. I don't need the technology to make sense to me. The one thing that I would say that I think I've noted before, but I never really I want to call it out and maybe start calling it out more when I see it. There's been a couple of instances in episodes where Cobra has a plan and they, for some reason, they've got a new super weapon or whatever, and then for some reason because they have a super weapon, they don't bother bringing their literal army with them as well. You could also have a bunch of Hiss tanks and some Vipers and people on standby. I know there are a few soldiers there. There must have been. I saw a Televiper filming Cobra Commander. There definitely were some Vipers there. Yeah, when the old couple went down underground, there was definitely Vipers in that control room, right? Why didn't those guys? Why weren't they on the front lines attacking the Joes, defending the base? You know, I don't know. But like 95% of this episode I thought was great. I really liked the snappy writing. I really liked the expansive sort of feel to the world. These little bits and pieces that I think were like that whole sequence at the beginning. Like sometimes there's like an open, it's almost like a cold open, you know, like that whole sequence at the beginning of them infiltrating the data center in the cornfield. Sometimes if that stuff can feel so disconnected from the later plot line, which is like the central plot of an episode, that it doesn't really resonate with me. But in this case, I think it really helped sell the sort of story of the like the workaday sort of world that the Joes live in, you know? I loved that there were so many Joes in this episode, and I know they all didn't have speaking roles or whatever. Them being there as part of the tapestry, not just a bunch of green shirts, made a real difference to me. I really want to see like Airborne and Shipwreck and whoever else was there. Spirit was there. There were guys in the background that were just like part of the attack group, you know, Gung Ho, or was it Gung Ho or Roadblock was there in the background. Having those guys around, you know, even Scarlet, who had a minor part. Ace, I think, had a line here and there, right? But those guys being there and like clearly we're part of the team, even though this isn't our feature episode, that stuff is great because that adds the sort of the glue of like, it's the team at work, you know, fighting Cobra. Those couple little bits, like the hacker who was working for the Joes, and interesting that like there was a decision that the writers made to like, after that sequence at the data center in the cornfield, they were just at like a pup tent, you know, they were still like on mission. When they were like, we have to decode this like right away, you know, let's get our encryption cracker on the case, right? Who she was, I don't know, but like, you know, and like you could easily have given that to Breaker. Like Breaker, isn't Breaker a code breaker? Like he does that kind of stuff in episodes all the time, right? And I know I was jumping the gun because I was too excited, but going down into the Cobra underground base, again, logic aside, you know, to have that tech lady with the blonde hair that Lady J knocked out and stole the uniform of, like, you know, I don't know if we've seen that uniform, that sort of, I'm a tech person, they're not like a techno viper. Is there a male version of that? I don't think I've seen that uniform. It's almost like the Baroness's uniform from the Mass Device, like from the first miniseries, only with that cool, whatever that, like, that eye thing out of freaking The Last Starfighter. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's more out of like Battle Force 2000 or something, I'm sure, realistically. But you know what I mean. I thought that that stuff was great. I guess I suppose if I could have asked for more, I would have gotten an explanation on the old couple, because I think an old couple who have like made a decision to join Cobra, like rank and file, and like help them out, that is interesting. That could have been a storyline. We also didn't get to see. Did I miss it? Did I miss Wild Bill? Like he had the gun pointed to him from the Baroness, and then the next time we saw him, she was knocked out. But we didn't. Did I see? Did I just miss that? Was it just like a quick shot? Okay, well, apologies if I did miss that, but that was just something that I was sort of wondering about. You know, a couple things like, where did all those cows come from? You know, was somebody actually taking care of the ranch, or was it just like, I get the ranch was just a cover, but you know, they had hundreds of cattle on the ranch. Did they have any real cowboys there? I don't know. And I liked that it played within its own kind of boundaries, like its own, rules of the world. Sometimes writers come in, and especially on their first episodes, we've seen this. They kind of try and push the storytelling structure, and it's flexible, but you still have some constraints that you have to understand, not to go past, and it should all still connect back together. So with all of that sort of story, sort of off the dome sort of conversation done, let's take a beat. Let's step away. I'm going to do some deep thinking about this episode, and I'm going to circle back to you in a few. Oh, it'll just be a second for you. It'll be a few minutes for me with some trivia, tropes, and takeaways from this episode. Stand by. Hey everyone, I am back, and I think we've got a pretty clean one here. I've got a little bit of trivia, and then we can bang through a few of the tropes that I saw. But I think our main takeaway is certainly that this was a fun episode, and I'm looking forward to more from this writing duo. I think they did a really, really good job with this one. So first, let's start with notes or questions that I had from the actual episode. One, Bill, Wild Bill stopping the stampede all on his lonesome. Yes, a skilled cowboy, a single skilled cowboy could, in theory, stop a stampede. He would do it by riding around the front of the stampede and convincing the lead steer to kind of go into a circle. And that is kind of how you slow down and ultimately stop a stampede. Certainly easier with multiple, cowboys there. Would the cows have run right into the energy collector, the solar farm? I don't know. I think that's kind of up in the air. Cows they're kind of mad when they're in this stampede sort of frenzied state, and they have this kind of lemming, like follow the leader kind of attitude, but they're also not cows aren't smart, but they're not like stupid. Not Wild Bill, but Bazooka, in his attempts to stop that bull, his move there, like dodging a bull, is definitely the smarter move. If a bull is running at you, grabbing a bull from behind with the horns like that and digging his heels in, that there is a technique that cowboys in rodeos use. It's called steer wrestling or steer wrangling, maybe. But that's really a rodeo stunt at this point. I don't think that normally you would want to do that with a steer, much less a bull. Like, I think you'd have to be super skilled and experienced to know how to grab a bull by the horns, literally, which is what he does to get it to stop. Oh yeah, let's talk about the technology. So ground based. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna read this here. It says yes. Ground-based collectors can technically power an orbiting laser. It's a concept referred to, of course, as ground-to-space power beaming. This would involve the use of high-powered continuous wave lasers located in a cloud-free ground site to transmit energy to a photovoltaic receiver up on a satellite. So it is possible, but ground-to-space based powering, and there are reasons why you might want to do that. Ground to space based powering is far less common of a developing technology, and to be clear, this is still developing technology than the reverse, which would be space to ground based powering. Logically makes a lot more sense than like ground to space power. Also, if you're in space, you can collect power from the sun, in theory. Maybe you need a lot more power than that to power the kind of batteries that you would need to create a Star Wars style space laser, but who can say? Again, this is not a military laser, to be clear, so I'm not exactly sure what it was for. They mentioned, though, in the episode that this was a laser satellite built by NASA. There should definitely have been more civilians in this episode and or security. Like, why were there not people like there were those 2 guards that we saw one shot of at the power facility, but like, where are the rest of the people who work there? Why wouldn't they have more guards? There's the kind of like sort of larger sort of, systemic considerations that, like, play into every episode of G.I. Joe. And I'm not trying to ruin the show. I'm just saying, like, there should have been more guards there. And if you guys have been watching, that I have this sort of like compulsion. Like, I feel like G.I. Joe should be working with local law enforcement, and especially on those world-spanning sort of missions. I really wish that G.I. Joe would work with like international counterparts in terms of like getting the job done. That would be really, really cool and interesting to see. And I think it would help sell the show more, I don't know. Maybe there's concern that like they would be partnering up with like the Taliban, for example. Look at what was happening in the 80s with the Taliban. Then come to me, okay? All right. Wild Bill is, yes, of course, he is from Texas. He's from Brady, Texas. His real name is William Hardy, not, of course, William Austin or Bill Austin, which is what he said his name was. But Austin is, of course, a town in Texas. And his sister, Jane, would, of course, be Jane Austen, right? I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Oh, yeah. Ma and Pa Jode, the owners of the Dude Ranch. The Jode family are the main characters in The Grapes of Wrath. So I assume that was that they knew that when they were writing this, but it's not something it's been a very long time since I saw The Grapes of Wrath. I never read the book, but I had forgotten that. So that's a fun bit of trivia. And then I think, like, really importantly, and something that we probably should not overlook in terms of, like, I don't even want to call this trivia. This is like a kind of a significant thing. Cobra destroyed the Golden Gate Bridge. Why aren't we talking about that? What about all the people that were killed in that attack? The entire bridge, it melted. Did you see that sequence? It was horrifying. And I know the next episode we get to, we're not going to be talking about the Golden Gate Bridge, but it is pretty interesting that they're just like, yeah, sure, we can keep that in. No problem destroying world landmarks. So this is like they really are like upping the stakes. And I think that was felt very clearly with that end battle sequence as well, with all those Joes coming in and then them having to switch up tactics in the middle. Like, all that stuff was just great storytelling. Really, really cool. I really loved it. So now I think, with that said, let's dive into the tropes that at least I caught during the episode. But if there are any that I missed, feel free to let me know down in the comments. In terms of our tropes today, I don't think we actually have too many to go over. A couple of the like more standard ones. Let's just start with, once again, part of the team has been captured. It happens almost every episode. But yeah, they've definitely been captured. We had a sequence where animals attack. That, of course, was the bull being set to attack our boys Alpine and Bazooka. We had Cobra on TV. At least I'm counting this one. This was at least them, letting the world know, like, bow down to us or else. I'm gonna count that tech girl beating the encryption on the Cobra data tape. I'm gonna call that hacking. I think that's fair. If not that, then Breaker getting the information itself so quickly out of the Cobra computer. That's certainly some pretty sweet infiltration work. World landmarks, yes, there was a world landmark scene and destroyed in this episode. But then too, we had flirting and a love interest. Both of which went hand in hand with Wild Bill's ongoing romantic storyline throughout this episode. And it was like sweet, but also like I wasn't really sure where they were going with it. I guess that was part of it. He's got that mustache. I can see the appeal. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But it was not exactly what I was expecting. I think I called her a Red Sparrow in while we were watching the episode. And she certainly has some of those like classic Russian, the Black Widow style tactics that we've seen in other media. So using that to her advantage, it kind of only makes sense. What she had to gain by playing Wild Bill for the fool, for the love interest, that's a little unclear. Like, in the reality sort of version of this scenario, as soon as they arrived, Cobra would have taken them out back and shot them all in the head. But that wouldn't make for a very fun cartoon, now would it? Okay. With that said, I think I'm done with the tropes. You guys let me know if you saw any other ones that I might have missed. There's always stuff in there, and maybe there are some tropes that I haven't yet categorized that should be noted for these kind of episodes. Like an infiltration, perhaps, if that's a thing, and later on at some future date, we're going to circle back and talk about why I'm collecting all of these noted tropes in my spreadsheet. We don't need to get into too deep in the details. Look down below in the description if you want more deets on what this whole spreadsheet is all about. But for now, let's just say that we had a really fun and lighthearted kind of episode with some strong writing, some good balancing between the sort of gags and the action, a great use of the ensemble, sort of a team that still let people shine in the spotlight, and our first real feature character look at Wild Bill. So I would say that overall, this was like a massive win. And I am super, super excited to look forward to more episodes from this writing duo of Jerry and Carla Conway. Okay, that's it from me. Thanks very much for sticking around. I really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time. Yo, Joe.